Hello and welcome back to Central Portugal. This week we have some really exciting news about our project design, but we'll get to that in detail later on. But first, in between the showers, we need to tidy up a bit after all our olive pruning. There's lots of wood chipping to do, and we also need somewhere to put those chippings. It's a bit of a way from being level just yet, so I'm going to have to take a bit more out of this top side here and get the loppers down to chop up that seedling that's over there. But at least I can see what I'm aiming for now anyway. So I've come down here again to the space I started to clear yesterday to make our summer sitting area underneath the oak trees. I'd cut it into a sort of bit of a rectangle yesterday, and then looking at it from a distance I wasn't really very happy with it, so I'm going to try and remodel it as more of a circle. So I've stuck a stick in the middle and marked it out with sticks around the edge, and I'm just going to start clearing away the corners now. Oh, I'm much happier with that now. You can see how it echoes a bit the shape of the well behind it, so that's what I was looking for really, a bit more of an organic shape. Yeah, I can pronounce that really well. So I've left the stick in the middle for the time being, just to remind me where the middle is, and we'll get some chips down here and try and make it even nicer. Actually looks pretty good from up here too, with the light behind it on the south lawn.
So as we come towards the end of the trip, we can see the damage we've done to various trees, chop them into bits. But before we leave, we could really do with a bit of tidying up, because around me you can see there is piles and piles and piles. And if I spin around, we've got a pile of cut logs there, we've got a pile of sort of stringy bits there for chipping, we've got another pile of cut logs up there. Really, before we go, we've got to get all of this stuff organised and sorted out. The leafy stuff will go for the chipping, and we'll get the chipper out in a moment. Meantime, I'm going to spend a bit of time taking the smaller branches off the bigger branches, separating stuff out and basically organising it into similar chunks. Let's have a go. Going to be using two tools today, both battery powered. Don't really need the petrol saw for any big work. This is all quite small stuff down at ground level. So the small steel, which is the one for the single hand operations, small stuff, and then the slightly bigger DeWalt, 12-inch blade, 12-inch chain, and between them they're both brilliant.
And the chipper goes back on after the cup of tea for the last load of the day. He is making progress. It might not look like it, but he definitely is.
What are we going to do with this area? How am I laying it?
As much as we can of it. It's a sort of a circle, so it'll overlap.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to need to do another strip.
So do you want to do it so up half one?
Yeah, up the upper half.
Okay.
Oh, it's about the right width. That's a good guess.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Good.
You get the dip.
Yes, it's a lot cooler down here when the sun's out, isn't it? That'd be lovely.
Yeah. Keep it nice and rustic. Maybe some log benches or something like that.
Okay, I'll see what I can do.
With all this timber we've got to be able to make something out of it. Get your creative juices going.
I think this, yeah, round timber benches. Let's see what I can come up with.
And that's the first lot of chips down on my summer seating area. It all looks rather good here. I could do a little dance, couldn't I? Yeah, that'd be too embarrassing. So it's not exactly a circle, but it's as near as damn it. Well, Phil's doing a massive job with the chipping up there. So this is a place to bring it and dump it. I've also laid some weed fabric down the path from the tiny house down towards the main house as well, to try and make that a bit more of a definite path, so that we don't need to keep cutting away the weeds every time we come, which should be a lot easier, shouldn't it? We're nearing the end of the chipping. Lovely clear view down under the mound now. What a beautiful day it is.
So after cutting away all those olive and fruit tree branches, you remember there was a giant pile of cut wood here, and now there isn't. Two olive trees. Next job will be to chop those down further and get them stored away somewhere out of the undercover and out of the way. Two piles there, and another one just up there. That's a good load of firewood for next winter.
And we managed to finish covering the weed fabric with chippings today. So it's a nice little seating spot. So it's going to be a beautiful, shady and quiet spot to sit when the weather gets a bit hotter. Can't wait. We're getting used to just how much work is involved in processing the timber, especially as we've had to take so much out of each tree. So unsurprisingly, there's another pile up by the barn to deal with. It's quite full anyway, shall I take that down
Yeah,
too?
but I'm going to have to... So I keep trying to avoid this, but hey ho.
Shall I
No,
take it down?
Yeah, I do. The outlet sheet, I've got to get the spanners and... That's the first time in a week of fairly continuous chipping that's jammed, and what it's done is it's not jammed in the chipper, it's just choked the outlet with leaves, too many leaves. So I've got to take a couple of nuts off there, lean this forward and clear that out. Shouldn't take a few minutes, but that's the first time in ages this chipper has had a hiccup. Brilliant little device. Gonna get that washer. There we go, got it. And then you can see
It's all completely clogged up.
so basically empty that bit out from there. Bottom end of the spanner will do
Put the
that.
spanner up there.
There we go. That will now, magic word, go back to where it was. So I guess with these things, the drier it is,
Yeah,
the more it'll spit out.
A bit misty probably.
And lots of leaves. But anyway, let's fire it up and see how it goes.
Again. With the chipper back in action and a full load to spread, it's back to the pathway. Phil's been going great guns with the chipping this afternoon, but there's still more we need. These OSB sheets have been making the place look untidy for weeks. While we're in the zone, it's time to get them under cover and safely put away. Phil then had a very creative idea for finishing off the edges of the path.
There's a few chippy ones, but they won't notice when they're under and over.
We've still got loads of halfway decent leg tiles that we were hanging on to, just in case. Looks like this is their moment to shine.
Well, just moving the tiles off and came across this in between two tiles.
Excellent. Oh, this does look nice. Ta-da, I've arrived. Oh, that's so much nicer.
So all that stuff about tidying up and not doing too much manual work and not starting any new jobs, yeah, let's say that was in the past. So in clearing up, we've decided to take away
Cleared up the edges round here.
Yeah, it's all good stuff, but
a little explanation. There are some broken bricks from the base of the old walls by the concrete slab here. They're a constant trip hazard when walking from kitchen to bathroom. Underneath concrete.
that's a bit of,
Yeah, that's just loose rubble. I can probably lift that. They've just got to go. Better late than never.
that bit. Trying to get underneath this one.
Yeah, you sort of hooked into it there. There you go. You lift it out. Coming.
There you go.
Excellent. That's quite full now.
I'll take that and put that up on. Oh, dear me. I'll take that and put that up on the driveway. Just smooth some of the rubble over. No, that one's
nice
that
long
one's.
piece of slate, actually.
That's a nice piece of slate. We'll keep that for something.
Maybe while I check.
Dear me. Okay.
Yeah.
Jane will be back. We hope. And whilst I'm having a weary day, Duracell Janie, still at it, still finding plastic bottles.
Yeah, look, there's a whole pile there. More yoghurt drinks. They obviously were addicted. Yeah, I can't resist the urge to level stuff, you know what I'm like. You know. And if we have another chipping phase tomorrow, we could dump it all here.
We certainly could. We'll see how many trees there are to chip.
And the result is pretty impressive. The chipping does take ages, and while this isn't a long-term solution, it'll be great to have some mud and weed-free paths and seating spaces we can use while the planning and building processes get underway. It's amazing how much of a difference a few boundaries and surfaces make. We're really pleased with how it all looks now. But speaking of planning, we have some big news to share.
So we're thrilled to share with you, we've got a very exciting day. So on the iPad, I now have the first cut, the first view of the architect's plans for our house.
We had a meeting with them yesterday, talked through it a bit, and today we have an email with the plans, and it's really exciting.
And it's great because it's a full 3D. We've got plans, we've got sections, we've got elevations, and we've even got renderings and fabulous, basically digital pictures of what our house is going to look like. This is phenomenal.
Oh, it's brilliant. And you know, it's not the final thing, so we're not going to show you the whole thing yet because we haven't quite got it all nailed down, but certainly for a starter we'll take you for a little walk round and show you what's going to be where, I think.
Yeah, why not?
Let's do that. Yeah?
You're going to carry and I'll talk?
Okay, I'll carry.
Yeah.
One of the restrictions is that we should build more or less within the original footprint of the buildings. So here's the original plan that we were supplied with when we bought the place. It shows the roof structure that we call the main house on the right, the tiny house on the left, and a collapsed area in between. Plus the outbuildings we've been converting to our utility room and outdoor kitchen. Our brief to the architects was quite simple. 2 separate buildings, each with a level floor throughout, future-proofing against any mobility challenges as we get a bit older. 2 bedrooms in the main house, 1 bed in the tiny house, all making use of original features and materials as much as possible. Let's take you on a quick tour to share some of their ideas.
So this is the sort of furthest west side of the house, the road up above us, sort of above head height as I am. But this end, one of the things we've asked them to do is where we can to retain the stone walls. It would appear that keeping the stone walls on the outside is going to be quite difficult. And so the insulation and keeping the place warm and dry. So it's going to be necessary that we're building with block where the block work extension has already been, and then rendering and on insulating over the outside and rendering the stonework. It's
because of the type of stone, isn't it? I believe it's too sandy and pretty soft, and so isn't as strong as it could be.
But it will be kept for some decorative use, and so there'll be walls inside where we will still keep some of the original stonework. So there will be hints and there will be salutes to the original structure of the building wherever we can. But of course, we've got to make it warm, dry, structurally sound, and work around what we've got rather than doggedly stick to it and preserve it. So this is going to be the master bedroom end with views out over the valley and the trees below. And
this nice view down the hill. All being well.
If I move over here, the idea is to have a little bit of a balcony. So master bedroom ensuite and a bit of a balcony that will allow us to sit out on the terrace. And we're going to see whether or not we can incorporate this. There's a sort of raised bed wall thing here, to see whether we can sort of swing the balcony around the corner and incorporate any of that.
It'd be really nice to have a seat underneath that olive tree.
Yeah.
That would be a really nice thing to have. But
a bit of privacy fencing up above it, and it'd be a lovely place to be. Absolutely gorgeous.
Particularly as the sunset is behind us.
Behind where Jane stood now.
So we get beautiful light coming down, looking out over these trees here of an evening. So it'd be a lovely place to sit out and have a drink.
And the well, as a feature, just down outside us. So then, should we walk up?
Yeah.
So where this bit is the main bedroom, and then keeping roughly to the shape of what we've got, this part coming out a little bit from where it is.
It's going to come out quite a long way, I think.
Yeah. But
if we can.
from there to there is going to be a single sitting, dining, cooking, kitchen, open plan, one big room.
With a nice veranda on the front.
Veranda on the front, and so there's going to be nice, again, a deck for sitting and taking in the outdoors in the evenings. The outdoor kitchen will remain where it is, and there's some interesting ideas for that.
Oh, they had a brilliant idea about this.
Fabulous idea is to keep the bottom half as an office, and let a couple of windows or something into it.
Basically make it more or less all glass, I understand, from to make the top half certainly all glass. So
as a sort of orangery, see-through.
And a little bit of an office at one end, which is something we hadn't really thought about because we'd just been putting all these services in there. But that certainly would make a really nice place to sit and work and look out over the land.
As a viable structure, why not?
And also it makes it a bit more transparent when looking at it from the main house. So we could see through it.
I think it's a great idea.
I think it's a fantastic idea.
Inspired. And then we keep the courtyard garden, and you can see we've been dressing it up to put some pathways and just making it look a bit more sophisticated. So where I'm standing now...
Whoops, let me just pan round to where you
are. So where I'm standing now, and in fact it comes out a little bit, doesn't it? But
yeah,
this will be the sort of the veranda, balcony, deck thing.
Yeah.
Inside there, behind big glass windows and doors, all the ensuite, what am I talking about? The open plan kitchen, dining and sitting area. So then if we move on uphill a bit, and one of the things they have done, taken our requests into mind, is to make sure everything is on a single level. So there's a single level for everything, and wheelchair access there's a sort of a flat bit and a slopey bit.
There'll be a ramp, yeah.
So that you've got
ramp.
Full ramp, so that any wheelchair users can get from the level of the house to the level of the garden and the outdoor kitchen on ramps. So great, again, great thinking. This end is going to be the guest bedroom area, and so guest bedroom, family.
Just walk past you up here a bit, and then I can. Let's just go up onto the patio.
Now what they've done is the original plans stopped quite early. We've asked them to extend a bit more to come back out this way. Regulations being, got the tiny house over there, and there's going to be they're going to be detached from each other. Originally, it was all a single structure. This was animal shelters. But what we've asked for is main house over there, guest house, tiny house, properly developed over there, and there is if you have a window in each end, you've got to have at least 3 meters of gap. So we've asked to make the most of the space we've got here, 3 meters from that wall to come out.
Comes more or less to where that concrete slab ends.
More or less where that slab ends, just about there, you're right. So the house, and we'll add another couple of meters to the main open plan bit, and we'll add another meter to the bedroom just to give a bit more space to there. Inside, going to be a plant room for the solar and the heating. There will be a family bathroom, and there will be at the front here a boot room, mud room, call it what you will.
Laundry,
the place to put dirty stuff.
Dump.
And so, with revising the idea, what I'm hoping we can do is then make a gateway to the road, gateway to the street there,
with
which will allow us to have the main entrance door that way going into the house, and then the ramp goes down to the garden, so visitors can come and go as they please. But you know what the architects came back with as a first cut was absolutely spot on.
Right, and for the tiny house.
The tiny house actually doesn't change a great deal.
In dimensions, certainly not.
because you've basically got 3 rooms. 1, 2, 3. So in the kitchen over there is going to be the bathroom at the back and a sort of passageway through.
In the kitchenette.
And then you've got a kitchenette there, sitting and dining there, and a bedroom in there. And it will be a T0, so therefore it doesn't need to have any doors between them, and that means we can keep it in the footprint it is.
Yes, if the footprint, we found out that there is a minimum size for a 1-bedroomed house, which will be bigger than the footprint that this currently is. So what we're going to do is to just build it as effectively a studio, but it's going to be sort of separated off by the dividing walls. It's just not going to have doors, really. That's the inside. So it's ostensibly one big room, but not quite. But it's going to be another veranda, isn't there?
Another balcony on here.
Because, again, this is all going to be at one level, which is going to be the height of the entrance door to the tiny house at the moment.
As it stands now, yeah.
So, means that this bit's going to be quite a bit higher up.
And the open question, the interesting challenge, if we can get away with it, is what to do with this tree. Because we would love to keep it in place and have it sort of built around it if we can. But that's an open question, and we'll see how that goes.
This is not yet the final design, as we still want to tweak it quite a bit, but we hope you like the sneak preview. As always, we'd love to hear your thoughts and any suggestions, so we can add them to the mix. So that's all from us for now. Hope you've enjoyed watching, and we'll see you at the same time next week.